O'Brien, KB2 UKA, and we are live.
Roger, Roger. I tell you, we had some crappy weather come through last night. I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and the wind was blowing, like 70-mile-an-hour winds.
All right, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Just want to hear this transmit audio. This is a recording back. Yeah, we warmed up today, Don. We hit almost 50, but that, shut the as monitors I was just off. telling Richard, that's going to be gone tomorrow. It's going to be, the high is going to be 25 tomorrow. Let me listen to that again. Hold on. We warmed up today, Don. We hit almost 50, but that, as I was just telling Richard, that's going to be gone tomorrow. It's going to be, the high is going to be 25 tomorrow.
Down, so
all right, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's bring that up. 1, 2. There we go.
Oh, we don't need no more of that crap right there, but I got 36 degrees. I just dropped from 37 to 36.5, so it's going to get a little cooler here tonight.
I don't mind the cool weather, and I don't even mind the snow. I do not like thunderstorms with all this wire in the air. Have to unplug and disconnect everything every time a storm comes through.
Yep, same here. I only have one coax that comes in the house, so I just unplug that, and then I unplug everything from the AC.
And I've got this ladder line. I got a knife switch in the house to disconnect it from the equipment, and then just the lightning arrestor outside. But, you know, if you get a direct hit, it's going to jump across whatever you got.
Yep, but ain't going to play around when it jumps across it, so I jumped up this morning about 2:30 when it come through and unhooked everything and went back to bed and stayed in bed until about 8:30 this morning.
You know those sweet gum seeds, those round, hard balls with the pickers all over them?
Yeah, I thought that was hickory nuts.
Sweet gum, I think, is what they are. I don't know. But those things were pounding against the bedroom window last night, and that's what woke me up. I thought stuff was smashing into the house. This morning, my deck was full of those things. The whole backyard's covered in them, you know, about ping-pong size sweet gum. I think they're sweet gum things. I don't think they're hickory. They're definitely not edible. They're pain in the butt to step on barefoot, I can tell you that.
Yep, KG4 WQQ.
KYF.
KF4OUH.
And KB2 UKA.
KB3 WBX.
Good evening, Jeff.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Doug, Richard, Dave, I think. I heard some others in there, but hello, everybody.
What's up, Andy?
Jeff is at KYF.
Nice to hear you, Dawn. Sounding good over here. Fellas, give me about 2 minutes and I'll be right back. I'm going to make us something to drink real quick and then I'll get back on. KB3 WBX.
All right, Jeff, come on back. KB2 UKA on a balmy 45-degree Sunday evening in February.
Real quick, 25 degrees, snow and rain, snow and ice mix. Lovely.
Double.
Jeff was just saying that it's chilly where he is. Yeah, we're getting the cold tomorrow, Jeff. It's going to be a high of like 25, 27, something like that.
Mother Nature ain't through with us yet.
No, she definitely is not.
I'm going to have to rearrange things and streamline how I've got everything plugged in so I can just only have the ladder line to disconnect and one outlet or one big power strip unplugs everything instead of having to crawl underneath the desk unplugging stuff from all over the place.
I've got one of these 2 million joule surge protector boxes that I've got here, and that's what I got everything plugged into pretty much.
Is it grounded?
Yeah, through the house ground.
Roger. Yeah, I've got an isobar. Got the amps on that. A triplet isobar, but the other stuff is plugged in all over the place.
Yeah, those isobars are good. I've got one here. I don't have. What do you have? The isobar that plugs directly into the socket?
Here from my computer. Got one on the boy's computer. And when you get a lightning strike and it takes all that stuff out, you got to have something to help back it up.
Roger. You double with Doug. Doug, what was that?
Which isobar do you have? The one that plugs directly into the socket, or do you have the one with the longer cable?
It's the longer cable. I got 2 of them.
Yeah, I've got one of those here. I also have, I forgot the brand name, but it's an audio, it's heavy duty. It's an audio surge protector with filtered lines. So anything audio gear related, I plug into that. And then everything's on one circuit in here. The 240's on one circuit, and then I've got a 6-panel outlet that's on another circuit, and that's where I plug the surge protectors in and whatnot. So no ground loops, everything into its own circuit.
I've got 2 isobars. I'm only using one for the amplifiers. I'm using the other one for some other stuff, unham related. I need to take it from that equipment and put it over here on the radio.
Yeah. Hey, Richard, you still is your doublet still DX50?
Yeah, I'm still using the DX50 doublet up there.
I've got 400 feet of it here. I ordered it a few months ago. You're happy with it?
Sometimes I am, and sometimes I ain't. Like right now, I had to go to the SDR to where I could hear you, Don, and Jeff. So I can hear Brian here, but I don't know. I'm working on building me a big zapper.
Well, I'm concerned with, I don't know if the wire, if there's enough copper inside of it. That's my only concern. If the Kevlar is taking up space that the copper could have been there.
Yeah, well, that was my concern about it too. But it's just a bunch of braided wire, like a shielded wire on a coax. So, yeah, it's kind of got me a little concerned, but it still works.
What kind of wire are you guys using for your doublet?
Well, I'm using whatever True Ladder Line made mine with. But I'm going to be building a new one, a 12 gauge, and Richard has this really good. It's supposed to be really good. It's British military antenna wire called DX50. It's got Kevlar underneath the jacket. It's 12 gauge. It's actually a little bigger than 12 gauge, and I bought some of it. I've got it here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use that or FlexWeave.
My doublet's small gauge wired, 2-conductor, and mine's just a regular U.S. Army surplus phone cable from the Vietnam era.
Yep, you told me that. You know what I was thinking, Richard? Going real crazy and doing like 10 gauge solid.
I wouldn't go solid.
I'm just thinking bandwidth, but why wouldn't you do solid? It'll break?
Yeah, solid's not flexible. You don't use solid on movable stuff.
Yeah, it'll snap over time.
It stretches too.
Yep, you're right, Don.
Like if you see someone wiring a vehicle or a Kemper with solid wire. That wire, over time with the vibration, you bend copper back and forth, it will snap. You want braided, as many braids as you can get.
Want braided or you want stranded?
Roger, that's what I meant.
And did you make yours one continuous run, Richard, or did you attach the ladder line to like a center holder and bolt it to the legs?
No, Doug. I made my ladder line first. I took the DX50 wire and got two ends of it together, made my ladder line. Then I took it and cut it in half at the other end, and I strung it through a piece of CB antenna stuff that I had here. I say I art a piece of it. It's just a round stock, some RF resistant tubing and drilled some holes in it and weaved it through there. Go through one side, back down, and back up, and then out. That way it locks it in place, and then I just got it up there strung as a flat top.
And how'd you make the connection to the ladder line? Like two bolts?
I took the ladder line and bolted it, cut it back, and wrapped it around the surge protection that Art sent me.
So wait, you have your surge protector up high?
No, I've got it about 3 foot off the ground out here, but the back of the house.
Well, I'm asking, how'd you connect the ladder line to the leg of the antenna?
One continuous run, left and right.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was asking. Okay, so you did do that. You made it one continuous run. All right. Yep, I think I'm going to do that. It's just, it makes it more difficult. Because if I'm going to do it, I got to build it in this basement here. I got to measure from one wall to another. You know what I'm looking for? Do you know where I can find, like the thing they've got in Home Depot when you buy wire that measures it out? I'm looking for just a simple spool holder that if I pull 10 feet of wire through it, it's gonna tell me it's 10 feet.
Yeah, you can go to Harbor Freight and get you one of those wheels that roll and measure out.
No, but I want the one that you can connect the spool of wire to.
Well, you got to get a little bit inventive that way with the Harbor Freight wheel, but not right off, I don't.
Yeah, I've got one of those wheels. They're very hard to find. And like all the hardware stores that sell wire have them, because that's how they measure the damn wire for you. You tell them you want 100 feet, they just pull on that spool till the reader goes to 100.
Yeah, that's about the size of it. AG4WQQ. I'll be right back.
Yep, KB2 UKA.
KF40UH.
I'm back. KB3 WBN.
And welcome back, Jeff.
Welcome back.
Yes, sir. Doug, your audio sounds just a little bit different, but it sounds nice.
Oh, yeah. Yep. This is the new microphone, and we're doing a little bit different stuff here.
Right. We left ours the same. Ours is pretty much still the same. I like the way it sounded, so I just stuck with it.
Yeah, so this is the tube mic that I was talking about, and I'm still using the Soundcraft, and I'm doing most of the heavy lifting inside the Soundcraft. But I go from the tube mic to the Bellari preamp to the Bellari multiprocessor, so I'm getting all that analog tube sound, and then I route that into the digital mixer, and that's where I'm EQing, compressing, reverb is sidechained, and I do have the Aphex 204, the actual unit. I've got it connected to the mixer, and I actually split the big bottom and the exciter. I have them on 2 separate mixer channels, so the Aphex 204 is sidechained. And I'm able to blend in how much big bottom I want and how much exciter I want. So yeah, it's a little bit different way, a little hybrid way I'm doing it.
Sounds very nice. Very clean, nice bottom. Yeah, it sounds very nice, I think.
Doug, I just texted you a link.
Yep, I see that. Let me take a look. This might be what I want.
Doug, you think it's got too much bottom on it here? Is it okay? Too boomy?
No, it's perfectly fine.
Okay, you know what I want. Just a little bit, not too much. But now yours is very, very nice. Very high fidelity clarity. You've got a lot of clarity in it. Very nice and clear.
W3 BUD.
W3 BUD, recognized. Let me see this. Hold on. Brian, so where do you think the spool goes? On that black arm?
No, you set the spool up on whatever you can, you know. They have little stands for spools of wire. Then you just pull the wire through that, and it clicks it off what the distance is on it.
All right, I think this is a good investment. It's a little pricey, but and it doesn't come till March 10th. See how hard these damn things are to find? And this one isn't going to deliver till middle of March.
Cheaper, but I think that's how it is. They got things called racketeers for hanging spools of wire on. They sit on the ground. You just stick a piece of conduit through the spool, and then that's what we use at work, running the wire through buildings. And I think you just stick that wire. Just make sure it'll do the gauge wire you're looking for, not just coax or cable. And I think you just pull it through, and it clicks off with that little counter on there. It gives you, I guess, a pretty close to what you're looking for.
So it says, I got to do the math. It says it'll accommodate 1/64 inch to 8/9 inches diameter.
64. That's less than an eighth. That's a 16th of an inch.
And then it'll say up to 8/9 diameter. So what the hell is 12 gauge?
You want me to go get a micrometer and check the outside of the wire on 12 gauge and give you a mic reading?
Nope. We're going to try Google right here. What gauge wire is 8/9 inches? And it is saying that is a 8 gauge wire, has a diameter of approximately 0.1285 inches, which is 8/9. So if it'll handle 8 gauge, it'll handle 12 gauge.
W4 dealer. Hi, good evening, Dom.
Hey, Dom.
Hey, Wyatt.
Hey, what's going on there, Don? How you doing?
Yeah, doing pretty good so far.
Oh, good. Glad to see you on the mend. And good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Dom.
Good evening, Dominic. KB2 UKA.
Dom, did you call Dwayne or text him?
No, I didn't. Me and the better half were fighting to put seat covers on the car today. Let me tell you something. What a job. Took me 2 hours, and I only got the front seats done.
Oh, yeah, if you get fitted ones, they're pretty tight. But I texted him this morning, said he's feeling a little better. Still has a real bad sore throat, but he's getting better. He said if he gets over the sore throat, he'll be feeling 100% better.
And who was that? Man, I was in this theater today in the city. Everyone was coughing. I'll probably catch something.
Well, I'll tell you what, I had it for over 2 weeks, I think.
Well, you guys remember I had pneumonia during Christmas break. I'm better, but my lungs are still not the same as they were.
There's a lot of stuff going around. I've been fighting the cold. My wife's been fighting it. My granddaughter had that RV, RSPV, whatever that thing is. She's just now getting over it.
Oh, yeah, the RSV. That's bad for kids. They get it bad.
Yeah, she came over here and spent one night, and my daughter just had a baby, so we were watching my granddaughter, for a couple of days to give my daughter time with the brand new baby, get home, get situated. And then so she got sick, so we couldn't couldn't take her home, so my granddaughter hasn't been home in probably 4 days, so she had to go spending time between us and the other in-laws, grandparents. So she finally got home tonight to see her mom and her little brother. So it's been quite a week.
Oh, yeah, I remember doing that. My kids are 11 months apart, so when my son was born, those first few months, if my daughter got sick, we'd drop her off at one of the grandparents. All right, KB2, UKA, I'm going to grab a bottle of water. I'll be right back.
Dom, what kind of seat covers do you get?
I forget the name of them, but they're, Chinese, that's what Teddy says.
They're real tight, they're fitted?
China.
Yeah, they came from China. Hello? Yeah, they're fitted. It has a zipper, like a 6-inch zipper on the bottom right. You got to tuck them underneath the seat and then wrap them up. And it has Velcro that holds it up. And then the bottom one goes on. It's full cover. And I didn't do the back yet. The back one, you pull off the seat part. You pop the seat up. It gets a whole wrap. And then the two back pieces get a wrap. And then that should be done.
I got some for my old Jeep. They're cheap Chinese ones. I think they're called divers or something like that. It's made out of scuba diving material, I think. And they don't zip, but they Velcro, and they were they weren't too bad. They were stretchy, so it wasn't bad. They look really nice, but with no top on the Jeep in the sun, you can see they started to fade. 2 years they're starting to fade already. But I guess if they were in a car, it wouldn't be a problem. But they were real cheap, and for as cheap as they were, I didn't think they'd be worth the darn. But they were better than I thought they'd be.
1, 2.
I'll be back
Okay.
on you, right?
All right, Don, come on back. KB2 UKA.
Yeah, these were around $240 or so, and it's not fabric. It's like a vinyl or leather, and so when, the dog hair could just be vacuumed off of it.
Right. I think the ones I got for the Jeep, they're almost like a scuba type gear. I guess that's why they call them divers, but it's really kind of stretchy material, I guess. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of vinyl or rubber or something, but it is starting to fade, especially on the back seat where it's always in the sun.
Oh yeah, W4 deal with 20 after. And the headrests were the hardest, I think. Because I had to stuff them in there and pull and stretch. And everything fits tight. We're going to get those rubber, Husky rubber liners to put on the floorboard on the back. It covers the whole rug, between the two seats and the ones in the front. And then there's one that slides in the back, and that's what we're going to do with that. And that ought to stop the hair from getting on any material.
We need to shave the dog.
We did that. He still sheds so much.
What I got now, she sheds a lot. My other dog, her sister, hardly would shed at all. She was almost bald. She was like a part boxer. She was just slick as can be, never shed, but she was cold in the wintertime.
That's what I got, a boxer. She rarely sheds.
Boxers are great dogs.
So for you Windows 11 guys with older PCs, Intel's 8th, 9th, and 10th generation processors have been removed from the Windows 11 CPU support list.
Wow. So what's that mean now? You can't run Windows 11 if that's what you're running?
Well, it just means those processors are not on the support list. I'm running 11 on an older Dell that's on the other desk. It's got a 6th gen processor in it, but that's the only thing that's not right with the as far as the support list. I have the TPM 2.0, it was built in, and all the other jazzy stuff, but I don't have the processor that's on the list. We'll see if they. I have a copy of U-Button here. If they mess around with Windows 11 on that, I'm just going to put U-Button on.
All right, yeah. Well, I guess what that really means is Windows isn't going to troubleshoot you if you have that processor in.
Yeah. The only thing I'd be worried about is the security update.
Yep, true.
You guys got more snow on the ground?
Who, me? No. Well, we did, and then it rained the entire day today, and it almost hit 50. So there's no snow. There's almost no snow even on the grass. But tomorrow we're hitting a deep freeze tomorrow. It's gonna be like 27, the high.
Yeah, we're supposed to get down to 30 degrees tonight. Don, you said you got 6 inches, Don?
No, we got about 4.5 inches, Dom. It started early this morning, real wet snow, and roads cleared off pretty quick.
I got you. You got a good signal coming in here. You're 15 to 20 over. How's David doing? I haven't heard from him.
Yeah, he's been busy with the grandkids and working on his truck. He had some problems with the valve system.
Okay. Well, tell him we said hi.
I will. I talked to some of you guys last night, and talked to David today. He said he'll try to get in there more, but during the week he doesn't get in there much at all.
Oh, I got you.
Don, did you get some storms come through last night?
Man, we were under a wind advisory. This morning I woke up to pine trees slapping each other, and the dog was freaking out. I looked outside, my bed's right by the window. I pulled up the blinds, and them trees were just blowing all over the place. I said, I'm staying in bed. You know what's funny? I'm trying to get this 80-meter double bazooka down out of the tree. The tree branches kind of like got the rope. I had disconnected it months ago. It should just fall down. So I was laying in bed. I was like, man, maybe that bazooka will finally come down because I got another rope higher. I want to get it on. I'll be damned that thing didn't get loose.
How big of a branch is it? Can you shoot it with a shotgun?
No, it's too far up, and it's a pretty beefy branch.
We had some bad winds. We had, I think there was a tornado south of us touched down, but we had some tree damage and around town. I got those sweet gum seeds blown all over the yard and just a mess. But man, I woke up with the thunder, lightning, and high wind. 70. They clocked in some spots 70-mile-an-hour winds. That's Category 1 hurricane gust. I was like, good God Almighty. Well, we had disconnected everything in the middle of the night. Well, about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And I went back to bed. I said, crap.
Oh yeah. What about you, Jeff? You get snow?
About an inch. We got a lot of rain. Then the snow came real quick, and we got about an inch of rain and about a half inch of ice underneath of it now. So we got about a half inch of ice and about an inch and a half of snow now. So probably. So I don't know how bad it's supposed to get, but it ain't looking good.
Yeah, it's gonna get colder, I guess, because this is going north. But we're gonna hit 30 degrees tonight. It's been raining on and off all day today. This morning with that wind, it rained it pretty good. And then a little while ago, it started raining. It's supposed to get more rain tomorrow, and tonight's supposed to be 30.
I got 35 right now.
We're at 25 degrees right now in drop.
Thursday.
Oh, well, I heard you, Brian. What'd you say, 25? Yeah.
I said we got 25 degrees right now, and it's dropping.
That's that polar vortex, they said. Another one's coming. That's like the third one or fourth one this winter.
Well, I hope it's the last one for sure.
Well, got 18 inches overnight, and it's still snowing.
I'll be darned. Where are you at?
I'm over next to Lake Placid, New York, in the Adirondacks.
Hey, Brian, what's up?
Hey, Doug. Nothing. Just got a hot shower, feeling good. Finally. Licked my wounds, backed up, took out the taillight of the new truck, but it's just a taillight. Ordered a new one, and tomorrow probably more plowing and maybe attention to rooftops.
Oh, yeah. How much snow you have on the roofs?
Well, it depends if they clean the roofs off or not. Mine was cleaned off before this dump came. We got 18 on my roof, but if we didn't get the snow or the rain, it didn't warm up like they said it was going to. So it's not heavy yet. So what I'll do is I'll get up there and take care of it while it's still light. I may even try a leaf blower, gas-powered leaf blower, and see if that does it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think I was saying it the other day, that this Thursday we're either getting nothing or like 20 to 30 inches. As of this morning, the probability of nothing was increasing, so we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's why I said earlier you were complaining about the rain and overcast and crappy day and the drive you had going in there, but it's better than dealing with this stuff.
Well, yeah, when you're above 6 inches, that's it becomes problematic.
My coffee's ready. I'm going to go grab me a cup. I'll be right back. W4 deal.
Man, if I started drinking coffee this late, I'd be up all night.
I'm just the opposite. I could drink coffee, 75 cups, and go to sleep while I'm drinking.
I usually drink a whole pot in the morning. Back in the day when I used to train and race harness horses, I'd be drinking coffee all night. But of course, we didn't sleep much back then. Get a couple hours of sleep at night, and right back to the barn in the morning.
Wow, you were a harness horse racer? Where'd you do that?
After midnight, and hell, half the time we'd end up doing some partying or something. And I'd be drinking coffee all night long.
Where did you race horses?
I raced all over the country. My dad, back in the 60s, he raced at Yonkers, Monticello. Where else? Yonkers, Roosevelt, Monticello. The Meadowlands wasn't built yet then, and I raced in Michigan and Florida.
Now, when I was a kid in the 80s, I used to see commercials for it all the time. I don't think they do it here anymore. Do they still do it in Yonkers and the Meadowlands?
I think Yonkers is closed. I'm not sure if they're racing at the Meadowlands anymore. There's still some tracks in Ohio, Pennsylvania, some other places. Most of the tracks are closed. The ones that are still open are owned by the casinos. And there's no fan base anymore. The industry has really gone downhill. I still have some family members that do it. I think I drove my last race in 1990, and I hung up the lines and put away my colors and found another career.
Wow, yeah, Yonkers Raceway. Oh God, and they used to pack out, right? In the 80s, a lot of gambling. It was an event to go to that.
It was huge, Detroit. It was huge. You know, I remember as a kid, it was, it used to be right up in Sports Illustrated, and the Hamiltonian is the thoroughbred, is the Kentucky Derby of harness racing. My dad drove in that in 1966. But it was huge. I mean, there'd be,
Hey, if you're watching on X, this is a SDR amateur radio. So I'm a licensed ham radio operator. Right now, I'm just BSing with some friends up and down the East Coast. But if you check out my channel, you'll see me talking international all over the world. This is just with a radio and a wire up in the trees.
Every night. And it was quite a career for a long time. My family done it for 100 years, and I finally got out in 1990 and had to get a regular job and lie on a job application.
And if you're MAGA, I highly recommend getting your ham radio license. Wow, that's nuts. That's crazy. Well, you must have some cool stories from doing that. You don't have to tell them over the air, but I bet they're very cool.
It was really wild. When most of my friends were at home doing homework in high school, I was at the racetrack paddocking horses, and I'd get home about 1 o'clock in the morning and get up and go to school. And of course, my schoolwork suffered, but I never planned on doing anything other than racing and training horses. And I did it until I was 29 years old, and long story short, got married, got divorced, got custody of my daughter when she was 18 months old, and had to get a regular job to support me and her. And I learned how to be an alarm technician, and that's how it went down. A lot of stories, though, but it was a lot of fun. My whole family did it. Started with my grandfather, way back in the early 1900s.
Yeah, very, very cool. Yep. Well, everything happens for a reason. I'm sure the alarm technician brought you people into your life and things into your life that you didn't think you'd have. So, but very cool. Awesome. KB2 UKA. Dominic, what are your wonderful plans this week? What are you doing? Oh, he went to make coffee, right?
Yeah, he went to get coffee.
Well, I got to go back to the city tomorrow, Brian. Back again. This time I got to be there at 11 a.m. I got to sit in a lobby of a building for 2.5 hours while my daughter does a theater workshop and impresses everyone, and then we get back in the car and go right home.
It must be a challenge driving in and out of New York.
Well, today wasn't bad. Today we went to see a show that she almost got the part in at New York Community Center. It's like Broadway. It's on 7th and 55th. So she wanted to see the show. That she was in the final callbacks for it, and they didn't cast her. The show was great, and but tomorrow she's got a class. We don't go in that often, Brian. A lot of the crap now is virtual. It's only after they're ready to really see you, then they call you in. But tomorrow she's got to go in, and it's going to be 25 degrees. It's President's Day, but there's still people that have to go to work. So I'm going to kind of be missing rush hour, but we'll see. I think on my way home, 11, 12, 1, 11, 12, 1, 1:30. I'll be done by 1:30. I'm gonna get hit. On the way out, I'm gonna get hit. It's gonna take me 2.5 hours to get home.
I gotta go to Atlanta in the morning. By 8 o'clock, I'll be on top of a 19-foot scissor lift trying to work on some equipment. That's if they remove the shelving so I can get into the area I need to get to. Yeah, I lived in New York, but I was really young. I don't remember too much about it. I think when I was there, we were living up towards Monticello. My dad was racing all over the place, but I was very, very young, 2, 3 years old.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not too north of here. That's north of the Bronx. That's still a drive for me. But, when I was a kid, Brian will laugh, I used to call that upstate. Anything above Manhattan. Westchester County was upstate, Brian. That's what I'd call upstate.
I remember we lived in these little We were just renting it because we were there seasonal mostly. We would race during the summer, and then we'd head back to the farm down in South Georgia where they train and break horses in the wintertime. And I don't know for sure, but it was like these little bungalows, almost real small houses we were renting. And I think it was like almost like a small Jewish community. And I think we were the only non-Jews that lived there, but they were like little bungalows, just almost like a cottage almost we were renting during the racing season. But I was really little, and I have very few memories of it. I remember the kid next door would play with me.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, well, I've been here my whole life. I moved to Connecticut for 4 years, but that's about it. This is where I was raised, and but I'm going south, man. In about 15 years, I'm going to head south or west. I don't know. Wherever life brings me, I'll end up. But I'm definitely going to get out of New York.
How far south do you like?
It all depends what 15 years looks like. I love Florida. I do. And I know I don't just love it because it's a vacation spot. I like the people. I like it down there. But it doesn't, it's like retiring in New York now with what's going on with prices down there. And even the Carolinas is blowing up. Georgia's not bad. I had family in, oh my God. Well, I guess when you start to hit 45, you start to forget shit. God. I'll tell you the town in a second. Let me look it up.
So I lived in Fort Lauderdale for a while. First went to Florida in '84, and I started racing in the wintertime in Florida, and then I'd go back to Detroit and race in the summertime in Detroit. But I like North Georgia, but it's gotten real crowded around here, real expensive too. A lot of people are moving here.
Might have been Marietta. That might have been where they lived.
Yeah, that's just southwest of me. Marietta.
I'm back. W4 deal.
Welcome back, Dom.
Welcome back, Dominic.
What part of Florida do you like when you go down there? What part do you stay?
Well, I have an 11 and 10-year-old, so you can figure that out. I don't think I'd stay in Kissimmee, Orlando. I like Cocoa Beach, Vero Beach, Port St. Lucie. But then again, do I want to live on the east coast of Florida when I'm old? I don't want to have to evacuate. So, I guess I could go on the Gulf of America side, but you could get hit over there too.
At some point.
Hold on, I think we doubled. Did you hear what I said?
You don't want to evacuate?
Yeah, I don't want to evacuate. And then I said, well, maybe I could live on the Gulf of America side, but you've got to evacuate there also.
Yeah, you will have to deal with hurricanes. There's no doubt about it. At least you get a warning with a hurricane.
Right, you get a warning with a hurricane. It's not a tornado. And then I've never been west. Okay, the furthest west I have gone in my life is Illinois. So I've never, I'd like to see Montana. I'd like to see Wyoming. And I know it's cold, right? Like, the winters are rough there. But I'd like to see what the people are like because, man, if you like land, Montana just sounds, North Dakota. Like, I'd like to see all that stuff.
I've never been out west either. Me and the wife, we wanted, when we retired, we wanted to do a little bit of traveling.
And then it's a shame because I'm sure the actual state of California, the geography, I'm sure it's a beautiful state. And, New York's number 2 to them being probably the worst state to live in. But they've destroyed that state. But again, who knows they've destroyed it so bad, I don't know if 15, 20 years could fix it. But I'm sure that's a beautiful state.
especially Northern California. I can imagine that. That's why so many people went there in the first place. The weather, the terrain. You had mountains and you had everything. But it's so bad there now. I don't know. Like you said, it might take more than 15
What's up,
years
David?
to fix it if it could be fixed.
Dave, I'm on Apache Labs G2. Yeah, and Pavel in the live stream, VA4ADM, says North Dakota is beautiful. Yeah, I'm sure it's beautiful. Maybe when my kids are a little older, I could leave them for 30 days somewhere when they're like almost adults and rent a Winnebago and just drive the whole country.
Me and the wife, we were gonna get a ProMaster before COVID hit, and we were gonna have it custom built, all fancied up, make it a little like a van life camper. There's a company that builds them just the next town over. But COVID hit, and then we put everything, the brakes on everything, and then the prices, now it's so expensive just to buy a stock cargo van to do the customizing. It's really gotten expensive.
Hey, I'm gonna jump out of here. Everybody have a good night. Good to hear everybody. And maybe we'll catch you tomorrow evening. That ain't KYS.
All right, Don, good to hear you. Feel better, KB2 UKA.
7-3.
Catch you later, Dawn. 73s. Have a good one. KB3 WBF.
Good night, Don.
Where's DJ at? I want to talk to him about all those Canadians booing our national anthem.
Yeah, they got their butt kicked.
What's that?
They got their butt kicked. We started 3 fights, and then I think we beat them 3-0.
Yeah, I think there's a chance we might play them again too.
I mean, even doing what they're doing, that's the way. And they expect to be respected. I don't know.
Yeah, these people on X, these Canadians, they're like, listen, those are the liberal Canadians. They don't speak for our country. I don't know. Brian, I thought U.S. eliminated them last night. I don't think they play again.
I'm not sure. What part of Canada was the game held in?
I don't know. DJ was watching me on X about 20 minutes ago on the live stream. DJ, if you're listening, why don't you jump in there?
I'm going to assume that the game must have been held in a pretty liberal area, like, I don't know, Toronto or Quebec or something.
It was probably Toronto. Now, Tallahassee, Brian, right? Like, that's northern Florida, northwest. I don't know if you have to evacuate there. I think it's inland enough off the Gulf.
When I lived in Panama City, I moved to Fountain, just north of Panama City. And we didn't have to evacuate. I was about 30 miles from the beach.
So would storms come in off the Gulf and you'd just be fine there?
Hurricanes? No, we'd have some high winds. I mean, when Michael went through, I had already sold the house, but none of the trees near the house fell on the house. They kind of fell away from the house, so that was lucky for that guy. My son's house survived. He lives in Lynn Haven, and he's closer to the water. And there was just certain areas got devastated where certain areas got missed,
Yep. I had an uncle in Tallahassee. I don't remember him ever having to leave. That's up there. How far is that from Jacksonville? That's that's all the way west, but it's the same area north. See, Jacksonville could get hit. It's right on the coast. Tallahassee's a little more inland.
Blue Point on Panama City, in Panama City. Look up Blue Point in Panama City, and then look at some of the houses there.
I won't be going back to Florida.
There was one house I fell in love with. I was doing computer repair at the time. I went to on site. The guy's swimming pool was half in the house, half outside. And what he would do in the wintertime was he had these big glass doors that would separate the two halves, and he'd heat the inside.
You guys know who Wayne Huizinga is? He used to own at one time. He's part owner of Waste Management down in Florida, but he owned the Florida Panthers, the Miami Dolphins, and the Florida Marlins at one time. And his son and his house, they had commercial security systems in there. So normally I never do commercial, but I worked on those two houses because they had commercial type systems. His son's pool was built on the Intercoastal. He had his own little peninsula on the Intercoastal, and his pool went out, and it looked like it just disappeared into the Intercoastal. And he had a bar in the pool, so you'd sit at the bar stool. You were actually sitting in the water. It was really cool, and he had automatic feeders set on each side of his house, on each side of the peninsula, and on a timer that would throw fish food out there. So anytime he wanted to fish, that little peninsula around his house was always filled with fish because they were constantly slinging fish food out there.
What's this over here? Tyndall Air Force Base? You know where that was, Dom?
Right. Tyndall Air Force Base, about 15 minutes away from Panama City Beach, whichever way, however you want to look at it. There's a state park between the two.
And then you got Fort Walton Beach, Pensacola. Wow, that's right on the border of Alabama. Wait, is that Mobile? Yeah, Mobile is right there.
Yeah. Panama City Beach has got the Wonderworks, the house that's upside down, one of those there. They got all kinds of amusement stuff, and then plenty of places to go eat. You can go out on a boat, catch your fish, and they'll cook it for you back at the restaurant when you get back in. There's a place that does that. There's all kinds of things. Go out and catch you a marlin.
And then you got these cities in southern Georgia that border Florida, like, and I know nothing, like Quitman, Thomasville, Metcalf, Empress, Cairo, Orange Springs, Calvary.
There's nothing in South Georgia. It's hot and it's full of gnats.
Yeah.
If you're a peanut farmer or something like that, agricultural, you'd be fine. But if you want Georgia, you're going to want to be in North Georgia in the mountains. That's where it's beautiful, but it's gotten really expensive and the land's getting harder and harder to find. A lot of people are moving to Tennessee because there's no state income tax.
Yep. Can you buy a handgun in Georgia just by walking in the store and showing your license?
Yeah, we have constitutional carry. You don't even have to have a permit. I got a 9mm on my hip right now, and there's no there's as long as you got an ID. I mean, they run a background check on you. You can't be a felon or anything. But you don't have to take a class. You don't have to have a permit. We got constitutional carry, and everybody in North Georgia carries a gun. You don't even think twice when you walk into Home Depot and see 2 or 3 people with a gun on their side. It's just normal.
Yeah, and it's open carry, right? You don't have to conceal it?
You don't have to.
Wow, God. Come on, New York. This is where all the crime is up here. We need it.
They're not going to do it.
People complained when Governor Kemp and they got the constitutional carry through, and everybody was complaining, it's going to be the Wild West. And actually crime has gone down since the constitutional carry went into place. We got a town called Kennesaw, Georgia. It is mandatory. If you purchase a house in Kennesaw, Georgia, it is mandatory that you have proof that you own a firearm and ammunition to protect your home and property, or you can't buy a house there.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. That's so great. Well, of course the crime went down. So you got a bad guy sitting in a courtyard saying, who am I going to rob? And you got 50 people walk by with a gun on their hip. Those 50 people aren't getting robbed.
It's It's pretty common. A lot of people carry, and it's it's normal around here. Nobody's shooting up the place. The only place, like people that are shooting each other are the gangs, in the southwest side of Atlanta.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. Absolutely. Unbelievable. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I got another big day tomorrow. But I should be on early in the morning. We'll see. I don't know. I got to leave the house at I got to leave here at 9:15, 9:30. So I should catch you if I get up early enough. So I'll say 73 to all of you. KB2, UKA clear. Good night.
7-3.
Good night, Doug.
73, Doug. Talk to you later. KB3, WBN.
All right, 73. KB2, UK clear.